Yep. Yeah, let's go, baby. The fucking spoon. If you clicked on this video, you're probably going through a bit of a difficult time in your life right now. And it just kind of feels like it's just not, it's not, nothing is moving. You're not moving, the situation is not improving, just stuck. You're just stuck in this terrible situation and you cannot get out and you just don't know what to do and you try to look for answers here in this video and you're wrong. And the reason you're wrong is because I'm not going to give you any kind of answers or explanations to your situation, but I will give you a bit of comfort, maybe, so that you can find a bit more of a introspection within yourself and actually get yourself ahead in that situation that you're dealing with right now. We always kind of wish that we just had an easier life. But back when we were kids, if you're a kid, why are you even watching this video? But back when we were kids, it just life seemed just so much easier, so much carefree. And then we grew into adults, and then adulthood just struck us in the face because we were very unprepared for it. And there's jobs, responsibilities, and then there's this different YouTubers and influencers telling you that you should not do that and instead strive for this, and you're just confused. You're confused and you don't know what you need to do because you want to have a comfortable and easy life, and people tell you that this is the way to do it, but you're just unable to take a step forward into that. And now you're just kind of an existential crisis at the age of 25 or 30 when you should be having it probably about 60. So, why does that happen? Why did it happen? Why are you stuck in the situation that you are in right now? Well, the thing is, I've also been in that situation, and the reason why we get into that is because we feel like we're striving towards something very productive, very good, very purposeful, but on some days when the progress is not largely visible or not even tangible, this is when we kind of get into that loop of like questioning ourselves and feeling that we are struggling, because on most days your progress is just not tangible at all. You meditated this week 100 times, your progress will still not be tangible, and you think that meditation is terrible. You did 1,000 push-ups this week. Sure, the power is tangible, but it's not necessarily that visible either. We are a bit impatient when it comes to like us seeing the results of our labor. And in a world where we've been conditioned and we grew up in a world which has an immediate feedback on everything, good and bad, we feel and we think that this kind of struggle and toil that we're going through right now, voluntarily or involuntarily, has to have a bit of an immediate feedback to you, but it doesn't. And we lost touch of that because back in the day, when people used to work, if they, for example, put a harvest in the ground, they wouldn't reap it until like a year later. But they knew that back then. They were not impatient because of it, because they knew the timeline of how much of work takes for them to see the actual results. Building a castle didn't take 1 week like it does in a video game, or building a house does in today's world for like 2 months to a year. It took decades. Maybe a king started it, but the grandson is the one that finished it. It takes a huge time sometimes on some projects or some works for them to actually see the shape and for you to actually see some kind of results. And you're stuck in that because you think that it should be quick. It's not going to be quick. You're like 18 or something, or if you're younger or older, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever it is, you need to be a bit more patient with it. Everything of value that you're wanting to make is going to take a lot of time. A lot of time. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is also to remind myself of that idea as well, because I also get in that moments when I feel like I'm just, brute forcing my way towards results, when in reality I should just let them be and let them come by themselves. But my work every single day does not change. I just sit, I work on my craft, whatever it is, my job, it does not matter. I have some ideas that I want to implement. I have some kind of mission and purpose that I want to achieve and work for. And I do on every single day. But when sometimes that progress isn't tangible, that I cannot see it or even grab it, it does kind of hit you on your confidence. And now knowing that it is majority of days are going to be like that, of course it's going to hit you and to make you question stuff. But at some point you need to have this unquestionable confidence within yourself that, like, nope, I don't care what it is, who it is that's going to tell me, including myself, that I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to sit and toil and take each day by itself, tackle each day by themselves, and just hope and believe that I will make it. You've been told through YouTube videos, especially if you watch a lot of self-improvement content, you've been told that yes, if you do this one thing, right, if you buy their product, if you follow the step-by-step plan, that you have guaranteed success like they did. And that's false, because that's not going to happen. Because I said in my previous video, sometimes context matters. And just because something worked for one person or many people doesn't mean it's going to work for you, or that you even want it. You just had this thought planted in your brain by somebody else that you wanted, but maybe your calling is something completely else. Shit, I want to be an entrepreneur sometimes, but on most days I just want to be a writer. I think some people are like that because you feel like you want to do this self-improvement stuff. And I really enjoy doing these videos, so there's a reason why I do them, right? Besides having a job. Sometimes you just want to do them. You want to do like, this self-improvement content or YouTube and stuff. And that's great. But sometimes you have this inner feeling, that calling deep within your heart that tells you like, you know what, maybe this is not for me. In fact, maybe I just want to do this instead. But because you've been not only conditioned and had this thought implanted in your head that you need to be doing this in order to succeed, that you're abandoning that more creative side of yourself. And that is why you toil and struggle so much, because you're essentially doing something you believe to be good and righteous, but in fact, deep within you, it doesn't connect with you as much. Okay? We are all on self-improvement, sure, but some people don't want to make content about that, and that's totally fine. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to be doing that in order to get rich. You can use those self-improvement skills that you gathered and the character you developed and the person you became into working on something else. You want to be an artist, maybe. You want to be a writer or a painter or just a normal laborer person. But deep within you, you have changed in a way that, doesn't call for entrepreneurship. That's totally fine. Don't be discouraged by that, man. It's totally okay for not following somebody else's framework or guidelines as to how to get rich, because we all have different ways. Farmers are filthy rich sometimes. They have a bunch of land that they physically work on there, they sell their products. Shit, some farmers are really, really freaking rich, and they use it for good ends. They're not necessarily entrepreneurs as you would call them, but they still got their money. They still got their wealth. Right. That's really about it. Like, you don't have to worry about what you want to do in life. You do whatever you want to do in life, and you're still going to make money out of it anyway. So don't worry about it, especially if you're young. If you want to make a quick buck, there's many ways to make a quick buck. There's not only one framework that somebody else will tell you. But the reason you toil and the reason you feel like nothing is changing is because you are thinking catastrophically about the situation itself, and you think that you should be keeping up with some kind of person that somebody else is or you want to be, and you're just falling behind. A lot of suffering comes internally because we think that we are failing at something or disappointing something or someone. And it could be an actual person that or it could be a fucking YouTuber even. And just relax, okay? You're human. We all toil. We all struggle. It's not like a super overarching idea that you should not struggle in any way or something like that. And these YouTubers or influencers are like robots that have set roots. It's like, no, you're human. You are a human being that is going to have ups and downs, and you're going to struggle. You will struggle until a point where you don't need to struggle anymore. That point will come eventually. Don't worry about it. Okay, but if you're struggling right now and if you're suffering right now, it's because you need to suffer and you need to grow and learn. You're like clay, and wet clay, it's very flexible, but if you just let it sit, when it's going to dry up, it's not going to have a shape. It's going to be useless. You have to throw it away. But if you put that wet clay and you shape it up into something useful, then it's going to last for a very, very, very long time. Okay? We have ancient artifacts of clay that still exist today, centuries old, millennia old. That's what it is. That's what you should be looking at yourself as. You're with clay. You're struggling. You're toiling because you need to be shaped up a little bit. That's it. You're shaping up. There's some rough edges about you. There are some spots that need to be fixed a little bit, and then you're slowly and surely becoming that a good shape that's useful, that's beautiful, and gives joy a lot of people who watch it, who use it, etc. That's what you're becoming. As a person, you need to be purposeful, you need to be useful, first and foremost. And that's the true productivity. That is the true goal of suffering. So that you grow up, you mature, you shape up, you become a useful person, productive person, and somebody that's a good to its community and society at large, and not the opposite. That's the message I wanted to give you today. It was a yap fest, I know. I got to the point very late. Still, I know. I hope you took something from me. Okay? It isn't big, it isn't much, but sometimes you just need to know this kind of stuff. You need to be reminded of this kind of stuff. And I hope you got reminded. If you didn't, shit, you're probably playing something in the background like music or video games. That's totally fine, to be honest. I do that sometimes too. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Although it is better to not do that if you want to develop focus. Anyway, that was it for this video. There are links down in the description that you can get to help you out on your self-improvement journey, one of them which is free. Don't forget to get it. And that's really about it. See ya. Get out of here.